Welcome back to another match on the European Conference quarterfinal time. Rixxor versus Maxah, and this is gonna be a good match just looking at these lineups. JJ, introduce us real quick to what we're gonna be seeing.
Well, first of all, Rixxor is bringing a very unconventional lineup. We didn't really go into it too much last time why that is, but I guess we'll get into that later. Yeah. He's bringing a Zoo Warlock that is not a Galakrond Zoo Warlock, just a regular Zoo Warlock, a Khadgar Mage, a Galakrond Priest, and a Mech Paladin, which was banned. And meanwhile, Maxah is bringing a Hand Warlock, which is also unconventional.
Rare.
Mech Paladin.
Somewhat rare.
Combo Priest.
Somewhat rare. This.
And the Pirate Warrior, which was banned, which is actually also not very common because just Galakrond is more popular.
These are the two most outlandish decks we've seen, most outlandish lineups in this competition facing up against each other. So we're gonna see some novelties today.
Yeah, and that is not to say that they are necessarily bad lineups, they're just unusual.
Both these guys are in the second round, so that means something. Of course, Maxah won by forfeit, so that's his first time we're gonna see Maxah in this one here. But see what this lineup can bring.
Rixxor won surprisingly convincing.
Rixxor wiped Siege Tank off the face of the planet in ways that we would have never imagined looking at this lineup. And this is, by the way, and this makes it all the more impressive, an auto-completed lineup for Rixxor. And we thought, like, we didn't think about that when we commented over the first game, but we saw him just completely dominate, 3-0, just clean his clock completely. We thought Rixxor was the mad genius who's found the meta breaker in, like, of all lineups. This is autocomplete, so
maybe that is the mad genius thing to do.
Maybe that is the mad genius thing to do. We will definitely see. Bringing out the Mech Paladin here, as we see Rixxor on the top and Maxah on the bottom. Rixxor with the Priest currently going, which is a Galakrond Priest. He does have a Psychopomp for an important turn in hand later.
I honestly don't know what to think about Rixxor's lineup because the decks are weird, but also like they win.
They've won big. I mean, they've won big so far.
I mean, both Mech Paladins that we see in this lineup are relatively standard, even the auto-completed one. Yeah. Not that we're gonna see that tonight, but the Khadgar Mage, man. That was something. He high rolled a little bit with it last time, but that just it was so dominant.
Absolutely massive. And Maxah decides to develop 2 Snip Snaps here, which makes a lot of sense.
I'm trying to remember. Did we see the? I don't think we saw the Priest last time, did we?
The Priest out of Rixxor?
Yes.
No, it was banned last time.
So first time seeing that deck.
He's bringing it right off the top because there's at least footage on it, so nothing for Maxah to have scouted there. Which I like that decision. Maxah playing it slow for now. He's gonna put the Glowtron there on the second Snip Snap.
Honestly, I would have liked it on the Skyclaw.
Just to protect the Skyclaw.
Protect the Skyclaw, especially if you're taking a trade with the Snip Snap.
Skyclaw is an important piece.
Yeah, because it's like +1 attack everywhere.
Yeah.
That's right now. That's 4 points of damage every single turn with the current board, and that it can be more.
The Trash Bowl Tournament is sponsored by beverage. You have thirsty? Consume beverage.
Massive Stereo very good here. Is gonna leave some 1/1s on the board at the very least.
Yep, 4 for Maxah and 1 for him. But still a good cleanup. Get the Skyclaw, the Snip Snaps out of the way. Blessing and Wisdom picked up. I like the War Gear, and I'm imagining he's gonna Wisdom that because it has sticking power and attack phase with it.
And I'm gonna see
Replicating Menace there.
Replicating Menace is a strong pickup, especially like that's the crazy thing about Mech Paladin, right? Like all of the magnetic is basically charge.
Yes.
Like once you have a minion, magnetic is basically charge.
It has charge.
Which
time rip there. Almost forced, I want to say, for Rixxor. He picks up another Psycho Pump.
I was going to say, Psycho Pump is really strong pickup here.
That is big. We can see more magnetic here. And we will. Just another hero power with it and just keep pushing damage.
Honestly, I would have liked Gobo Glide here.
Alright.
But I guess he was trying not to overcommit to the board.
Let's not assume Max's gender here, JJ.
I'm sorry.
How could you? Not that we haven't assumed Rixxor's gender for like a half a year now.
And
but...
pretty much anyone else in the tournament. Let's be honest here. There is like... I think there's only been 4 people between both tournaments besides ourselves that we really like knew. No, not like 6 or something like that.
We know Sparrowhawk, we know Pimp. So you mean like know personally? Or what do you mean?
Well, I mean, at least know from like... Okay, so we knew some people from like just like
Old
pictures
schoolers,
and like
Yeah.
personal statements and stuff like that. There's like maybe a dozen. There's always like every now and then there's one that comes to mind. We know 2 from the interviews. We know ourselves. Like, between everyone in the tournament, there's maybe like a dozen people between both tournaments.
So yeah, if you happen to ever be gendered incorrectly in our commentaries, then
first of all, don't take it personal.
Don't take
Second
it
of all,
personal.
correct us.
Yeah, correct us. Don't take it too personal, but we just go with the flow. We just kind of go with the industry standards. So until
The industry
I'm
standards,
not
man.
lying to you.
No,
true.
it is.
So there you go.
I didn't say that you were wrong. I just said that is the way it is.
See Skyclaw here. Maybe even the module. Play some battlegrounds.
8, 10.
I like the module. Yeah. On the micro mommy, just enforce that. Big stuff. Skyclaw's protected, and he's pushing big damage. Is Maxah as someone opened the legendary.
That was, I don't know if I saw correctly, opening an Anka the Bury.
Goblin Ivan with the worst legend in the game. Ha! Congratulations.
I think the worst legend in the game is the one Harbinger Celestia, but
yeah, if you're talking, it might be Milos or something, but yeah, Anka's still terrible. It's the worst one of the current year, maybe. And now we're counting big as Maxah.
I think
This looks like a win, huh?
I think Maxah is winning.
If
this.
anything but the Skyclaw gets assassinated, then now it shouldn't matter anyway.
It depends just a little
You're
bit
on
on
this
the
and the
hits.
taunt. You get assume the Skyclaw gets hit. You still have 4, and you know how much was
4
6.
plus
Yeah,
2 from
that's
the
a win.
module,
But either way,
No, actually, Grave Rune. We totally
Grave Rune.
both blanked on Grave Rune there.
Why? How did we miss Grave Rune?
We're probably just talking about something else, as we do.
So yeah, Rixxor has some. He's got the precautions already lined up. But he has
That's
to put
nonetheless,
some stuff
Rixxor still at very low health.
You wanna hero power there before you kill those initiates, by the way.
That's
Infiltrators,
true.
because you got away with it, but you don't want to risk your Skyclaw getting assassinated. From that, Psycho Pump is now on hand, so there is ways to protect his stuff. You could play the
And
shield for extra
yeah.
taunt. You could play both, honestly.
Have the 12 year for even more taunt, yeah.
Matrix, good. He's probably gonna do some healing, so that makes sense.
12 year he'll face might be a good play for right now.
Yeah, it seems like that. Psycho Pump would have also been possible. It's gonna heal the 12 year, even just say I'm gonna create a wall of taunts that you'll
I'm trying to remember, but I don't think there is really any
and
taunt circumventing face damage in Mech.
hot air balloon is definitely not it. It's a good 1-drop.
It is a really good 1-drop. It's not a good draw in the late game.
Not a good 10-drop. So Rixxor might hold on with his priest. Might be able to.
Yeah, no, that Grave Rune was very clutch. That very important.
Nothing really good to attack you. Another 12 year showing up. He might just play the Matriarch now and heal and just spam the board. Seems like we're gonna see exactly that.
And now you can, I think you can go face with the faceless.
Yeah, why not? I mean, why go face though? Why not just trade everything? Safest way to win, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Max with the Glowtron is not it.
I mean, now you can take out the 12 year.
I'd imagine we'll see some
You could have done it before.
quick resignation here, though. Just has Silver Hands to play.
I mean, honestly, you just might try see if there's a pot where you can sneak something through. Once a taunt is gone, draw a big magnetic, and you're winning.
It's possible, yeah. Definitely is.
So that's the thing, right? In tournament situations, like on the ladder.
Is there ever going to be a taunt gone? You know, he's just got so much stuff now. Does Rixxor?
Yeah, that's true. But on the ladder, this is obviously a concede. But in a tournament, you can try finding something if there is just the faintest possibility.
Yeah. You got the Ziliax there.
wisely keeping it on hand, knowing that he can rush up another minion later.
There's a Sand of Water Bear.
Not guaranteed to heal face, of course. As a matter of fact, very likely to heal a minion. If it heals the taunt or the face, then that is very devastating, of course.
Yeah, either way, you get another dragon and Maxah's just getting killed next turn. Even with the Zilliax and the True Silver, it's not going to be enough. Zilliax will be destroyed. And it looks like, yeah, Maxah's going to get killed here. So, Rixxor taking the first game with his priest that he hasn't played so far. So, wisely bringing that out first. No scouting tape on it. Putting his best foot forward, maybe. I know from sources that that's not the deck he's most comfortable with, but he's played it really well. That source is Rixxor, by the way. It's himself, so it's reliable.
Yeah, and also, we almost counted him out there, and then all of a sudden he's pulling it around, and that's
took it. Yeah,
and something he's kind of been surprising us consistently now.
Yeah,
which I feel like it's a weird thing because
he's running through stuff so far.
Consistently surprising feels like at some point you shouldn't expect it, but
yeah, exactly. And if you're Maxah, maybe you take some time too. You employ a strategic sort of timeout. There isn't one necessarily, but you take some time before you start the next match. You know, kind of get a cooldown. Maxah decides to pick up the Warlock now. Switch decks.
I mean, you're in the mindset you probably want to just play the matches, get done with it, whether you win or lose. Like, play them all back to back.
Hey, if someone's on a hot streak, they're up to nothing. I might go to the toilet. I might get me some water. I might chill for a second. You know,
also, not very sportsmanlike, of course. If you overkill on that, like,
yeah, we need to maybe institute a timeout rule. We've never had an issue with that, obviously.
No, and now that you're suggesting it, we probably will. Someone will take like a 5-minute break between rounds and say no. Don't do that.
So I'm adding this to the rules verbally right now. You can take a let's say 2-minute timeout between games max.
Like, we can of course talk about like if there's something where you need to get off.
I mean, to go open the door because the UPS guy's here. I ordered 27 new tables and cool. But generally, we would like to get good progression here.
Hand luck with Valdrason starting hand, by the way, and Abyssal Summoner picked up early as well.
I play this big Twilight Drake right away. Makes a lot of sense. What?
Well, he only had 2 mana. I don't know what he was.
He dropped the coin because of hand space.
Oh, well, I'll say unless he was going for another breath.
Dude.
Oh no, even that wouldn't work. No.
I would imagine.
Speaking of hand size, there we go.
Otherwise, he would have probably had to use Nether Breath and the Soulfire, which you don't necessarily love.
Yeah, you don't like using Soulfire basically ever, honestly.
To finish.
I mean, yeah, but besides that. Sure. I mean, of course, lethal, obviously.
Yeah. Use it now? Both breaths? I don't think so. You just play your dragon. And that's what he's gonna do. It's like 4-9. Nope. 4-10. Says Max. So let's
Mine is bigger than yours.
Yes.
And more golden.
And more golden for sure, yeah. Hearthstone Rich is Max.
No, I mean look at the hand, right? Like it's a Sunfury Protector and the Twilight Dragon. I think the Soulfire is a basic.
If you keep any non-golden disenchantable cards, you're probably Hearthstone Rich. Or you just happen to have them. There's Frizz, now you have a choice to make. Ghost Abyssal Summoner for big stats, which is what this Warlock is bad at.
Nope.
Maybe no Frizz for big value.
And then you can also play the Sunfury, which is...
keep that damage off, which is important. That card was one of the keys in even Warlock, back during the Witchwood days.
Yeah, and also worth noting here, of course, because you tap at least in the early game to get your hand size up, you are behind on health, like almost... by design.
That's how many control warlocks are usually built.
So using the Nether Breaths and the Sunfuries to keep damage off your face and to heal back is very important.
Maybe we'll see Valdris if he can afford to, is the big question. Maybe he has to play Summoner to get more taunts.
I mean, still has a big taunt.
He does, but there's also a lot of damage now. He's playing quickly as Maxah.
So and
just a Summoner, just big taunts. Iron Bar Protector.
If you had played Valdris here, you would have had not attacked, I think, because otherwise the trade doesn't work out very favorably for you. Honestly, I would have generally liked not attacking here because now the trade for the Twilight Drake into the Abyssal is of course better.
You have to get to the Abyssal first, though. Not there yet. You got a lot of taunts to get through.
No, I mean the 8/8. Isn't
demon.
Isn't it? It's an abyssal. That's what I thought.
Like him at the summoner.
No. Because at 9 health, it basically dies to a small thing afterwards, and now it's just instead of wasting 8 health, and there's only wasting
a lot of pressure coming up from Rixxor now.
Less, and now even better. Yes, but also, I mean, still behind on the board though. Technically.
Alex then Caligos. So.
Yeah, stuff drawn definitely. But I mean, what are you gonna use Alex for to deal 3 damage to opponent's face?
Maybe.
I mean, it's big stats.
You could play it. You don't have to. Even you have a Khadgar.
Dice to the Abyssal Destroyer.
Yeah, you can play stuff, but Caligos is gonna be massive too. Pick up Pyroblast.
Caligos is definitely gonna be massive.
Another Abyssal Summoner. You have to stack this stuff up, and there's another 8/8 with taunt. Just better Mountain Jump.
And there is currently what is that? 12 points of damage on hand. If you draw a dragon, that becomes 16. So,
and also 20 on board, not to mention. So
yeah,
that's massive damage on Max's hand now. So Rixxor better check himself before he wreck himself.
I like Fireball here.
Fireball to remove the taunt.
To remove the one taunt. Yeah.
He was probably looking for a polymorph though to remove both taunts. Just gonna be the Fireball.
I mean, out of those 3 options, it seems to be the strongest for sure. We also have some other stuff on hand. There is Power of Creation. There is a couple taunts in that pool, but
Power of Creation, of course, not playable right now anymore.
Yeah, there was also just.
And he's gonna go Doomsayer here, which is interesting. Now we have 12 visibly on hand. Needs 10, and he does have 10. Does Maxah? Yeah, he's already done the math. Leroy Jenkins, easy.
I mean, without Leroy, just another breaths and the Soulfarers would have been 12.
Exactly. So Maxah, aggro Hand Warlock for Maxah. Big plays, quick math, taking it back. 1-1. We're tied up in this match, and this is promising to be a good one. I like where we're going.
Yeah, so we have Zoo Warlock and Khadgar Mage on Rixxor's side still left, and Mech Paladin and Combo Priest on Maxah's.
Yeah. This is for the semi-finals in the American Conference, of course.
And it's a little awkward to pick your deck here still, because
it is.
I mean, you probably go with whatever you're more comfortable with, but because both of your opponent's decks, from either player's perspective, are very different from one another.
Alright, after some more technical issues, we are getting back finally.
1,000 win Anduin.
1,000 win Anduin for Maxah.
And I can't help but notice that I was about to say not seeing resource cards, and
Rixxor brings the Warlock out.
Yeah, that is basically more or less the Rise of Shadows meta Zoo Warlock.
We have a glitch there with Maxah's cards, I believe.
Oh, fuck's sake. Yeah, that is, the expectation is just not working. That happens sometimes.
We'll get back in. Blizzard is a small indie company. If Blizzard had the amount of funds and the technical expertise in the building that, for example, a company like TrashcanTV would, then they would make their game work better. But you can't ask for all of that.
So, we're back, and everything appears to work right now.
Face heal.
Heals the opponent's face.
Big time.
For a good trade.
Maxah making the plays already. I like what I'm seeing.
See, normally you heal your opponent's face for the memes, but now...
Nope.
For practical reasons.
Maxah is about it for real. I like this. I like his... Listen, we're not rooting for anyone, but I like what Maxah's doing. I like his lineup. I like his decks. I like the way he plays.
I like both lineups a lot, though.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. That's the thing.
We've seen it before. Like, Rixxor is also the kind of player who comes back from, like, impossible odds.
You can't help rooting for someone who also just comes in with auto-completed decks and clears people up.
So, this is kind of a weird match.
Crowd favorites.
Yeah, and as much as the tournament continues, that's just more and more the fact, of course, because you'll have seen strong performance of both players, and there will always be plays in every match that you'll really like.
Psychobomb. I love the Anduin portrait. I think it's outside of Valera the most upgraded one, or the most improved one, outside of Valera and maybe Thrall, of the base heroes.
I think I think it's my favorite of the 1,000 win portraits.
I like. What's the biggest upgrade though? I like the regular Anduin 2.
I'm not a huge fan of the regular Anduin.
I don't like the regular Valera though, and I'm not a huge fan of regular Thrall.
I'm not a huge fan of upgraded Thrall, actually.
Upgraded Thrall is amazing. He's a Warchief Thrall. That's a great one. take that one. But Maxah's finding himself in a little bit of a pickle here.
I mean, Pyro does.
Pyro is going to be what it's going to be, I guess. 2 spells, GG. Probably not going to break the egg. Oh, Turby's the egg. Maxah. Took it. Oh.
And he drew.
What is this game right now?
Oh boy.
I mean, what is this game?
That was just
that was
dumb. the perfect. To be fair, 50-50 juggle, right? Like,
yeah,
you should have probably thought about that, but then just redraws the Pyro.
Yeah, but like whatever happens, I'll just take it. Maxah's playing crazy here. I love it. This is great. This is amazing Hearthstone entertainment. It's so off the map that you can't help but like it. And Rixxor keeping that pressure high, and he has to. I think he's right in that. Is it time for Psychopomp? Is it something that you really want back, or do you play your Acolyte? Gotta be Psychopomp, thinking about the value. And the Acolyte.
Well, there is the Acolyte.
That's a better Acolyte. Daniel and the cooler Daniel is gonna. this thing is gonna draw him a lot of cards, probably.
Yeah, and the question is, do we now see a Miscreant? I think we do, right? Wait, what is it? No,
Genius?
no, Genius, sorry.
Maybe.
The Evil Genius on the Snip Snap.
The Snip Snap.
Hit with a Snip Snap. Genius.
You might kill the Snip Snap and then Genius the 1/1.
Genius 1/1, same difference, kind of. Then you can play the Lackey and the Recruiter.
Yes.
One of the Lackeys, that is. Which I guess is whichever
the
one
Goblin
like
makes
more.
sense.
Goblin on the Genius. Get some extra damage.
If you want to kill this Lackey, so far not a single juggle hit the Lackey. Hit the Acolyte.
That's
Do you
true.
want your juggles to hit the Acolyte? Good question. I don't know. They're all going face. Juggler's like, no, you're not drawing cards.
And what is that?
Dragon. All right.
I don't like that though.
That's an interesting choice for sure.
Because
you could have played the Recruiter there.
the Recruiter would have given you a 5/5. Instead, I mean, yeah, tapping is important, and sometimes people forget when they have good plays that they should probably keep their draw up, but
holding back just a little bit here, and
afraid of the
does
what though, right?
Does Maxah just build a massive Acolyte inner fire?
I mean, there's definitely Circle as well as another option too.
Intertolvir now, and then you play the healer in between, I think.
Or Ritualist, yeah, Ritualist Circle, same
You
result.
can still Psychic and inner fire for 16 damage on the Acolyte. And this Warlock is not good at stopping these types of things. Decides to forego it for now. Picks up Inner Blade Master, but Maxah right now is playing the way that he is intending to play this Priest. And he's going to heal everything. He's going to heal up to all the way. And actually setting himself up for a win next turn, which is a good foresight, I want to say. So this game's gotten wild quickly.
How exactly do you plan to win next turn?
By inner firing the Acolyte and another thing.
Oh, but yeah, right. I'm so focused on the inner fire combo that I didn't consider. I was like, that's one short. It's like, no.
I mean, he's gonna take some stuff out, so it's not gonna be all that. But that Acolyte is a tough one to deal with anyway. He's gonna put an inner fire on it and just push damage, I would imagine, until he's being stopped.
And the question is, maybe he draws some health buffs.
If he draws Divine
Spirit.
Take it. He will most certainly take it.
I mean, yeah, but
Genius now. He's trying to maximize his juggles here too. That hit the Acolyte.
That is a health buff. The thing is, hitting the Acolyte delays the combo. In theory.
I love this Deathwing pick from Rixxor. That's amazing.
It might be a little too slow, but yeah.
Matt also in the house. There's
Dude,
extra arms. We're going nuts.
Beam Sidekick, heal, double extra arms. No, it's not even possible. It's not.
Everything's crazy.
So what? 1 arms, 1 sidekick, 1 inner fire, and we're talking about dealing 14 to the face.
And more importantly, having a 14/14 on the board with Reborn and.
Well, the Reborn makes it a 1/1.
Yeah, but that's not.
Not a 14/1 like other Reborns.
And how do you deal with this?
First of all, I think you hit the Juggler with the Ritualist, so that there's less dealing with happening.
So.
But
He
yeah,
might push his face if you're ultra aggressive, but he's gonna do that. I like the Raven though. Can you duplicate your Ravens for more Raven damage? Probably not. Likely not. And this is now a tough situation, Rixxor.
as a matter of fact, I don't think this
You
is
can't kill this, can you?
I don't think there's anything in the deck that can kill it either. I mean, you'd basically have to tap, see if you can get an Ethereal Lackey somehow, and then get a Plague of Flames. That's really and that's the only out I see right now.
I mean, you can definitely get several removal options, but from discoveries. But what are you looking for though?
But you have to go off of like Ethereal Lackey, right? Because as far as I can tell, there is no other removal in the deck, right? Oh wait.
Oh, going to battle to you. Oh, okay, fair enough.
Right.
I thought that was something different.
Yeah, me too.
Though that is still lost though.
Yeah.
Because of any buff. Yeah.
And he knew he had more arms.
Yeah.
Like it's not like.
So nothing that he could do. Then there really wasn't nothing to do. That combo priest showing up for Maxah, so he's up 2-1 with the golden 1000 win and win, looking glorious, looking good. Maxah is down to his last deck.
Yes, switch for Rixxor means you know what your opponent is going to bring in the next round, meaning you can adjust accordingly. Not that you don't have to win with both decks anyways, but
you still got your Warlock, you still have your Mage. One of them needs to win. Warlock once again it is against this Paladin now from Maxah. And
right, we've seen the Paladin earlier, we've also seen the Warlock earlier, so
both lost.
Yeah, I mean we've seen all the decks in the matchup already. Besides the banned ones, obviously. Rixxor having to pick his poison with the 1-drops.
I like both these starting hands.
Wait, Rixxor is already past the mulligan. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I like both these starting hands.
Oh, the Golden Leroy.
The Golden Leroy Hearthstone Rich is Rixxor. Loves it. You love to see it sometimes.
Yeah, and also
Scripter is a good pickup. Oh, it's not good Scripter at all. I'm talking about Killer.
No, I think with our Lackey Gem, we've been all over the place today.
The upside down card art. Well, terrible. Coins, the Sky Claw, presumably, which makes a lot of sense. Trade, that flame him off the board, establish board dominance. You have Snip Snaps, you have Magnetics on hand.
Dies to Cobalt Lackey or Direwolf, though.
Or Direwolf.
Or both. Not actually
dies
both.
Harder to both.
No, but I'm serious. Like, either one can deal with the Sky Claw, which is of course the biggest threat on the board right now. And since both of these are board-centric aggro decks, you would assume that
that's what he's gonna do for sure. Yeah.
Taking the trades whenever they're up is at the very least necessary.
Take another Lackey here.
Even trades aren't always necessary.
Instantly Snapix Faceless, which is a good one.
Again, board-centric aggro.
There is also board-centric aggro from Maxah's side. He has a Snip Snap if he wants something aggro. Right now he could also play 2 hot air balloons.
I like the Snip Snap because you have to do something. And then the question is, do you trade into the Lackey? And I think the answer is yes. I would have hit the 3 attack to the face, but you know. And there is exactly why you were supposed to kill a Lackey.
No, there's another Lackey on board. He knows it. Face is gonna be it.
Scrap on.
Why not? That's a good one. That's not a bad card at all in this matchup, especially.
Well, no, but I don't think Rixxor has any magnetic in his Warlock, but...
Yeah, this Neue module is very, very important. Big taunt. Can you afford to play a Leroy? I think you just get your max value out of your
no, I mean...
junk dog? With the actual dog?
I mean, no, I was about to say Direwolf Alpha and then hit the both Raptors minions in. Would have done it.
He has to say, I'm saying go more board value, Leroy.
And now you trade off probably the Microbots,
He picks stuff away. It's so important to have these stats on the board at the end of your turn. In either of this matchup.
And very, very important, of course, killing the Microbots, not the Whelps, because the Whelps can't be magnetized. Now, of course, there is some buff spells, as we can clearly see. And both players like controlling the board rather than trying to push a little bit of extra damage,
which is smart.
And the Rift Cleaver here seems very strong.
Yeah, that's definitely a good play.
Which generally is a bit more of an unusual inclusion.
I like it.
Of course, due to autocomplete. But in this case, really good.
Can't hate on. It's gonna put Max down, magnetize on it. Not magnetize on it, it's gonna play it individually. Alright. Interesting choice.
I like putting attack on the things where the health grows. And vice versa.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but Crystallizer, Dire Wolf, probably. Of course, the Dire Wolf would have to go to the next Rift Cleaver if you were to hit face, which you apparently don't.
No.
Now I would have put it on the other side. I don't think that the Hot Air Balloon is so much of a threat that you can afford to really waste.
He's gonna use his True Silver to hit the big minion, I would think.
Yeah, but I think
take a lot
as
of
Rixxor,
damage,
I would have probably hit the face with 8 attack rather than deal with a small mech. Like
it's such importance in matchups like this to take the board with everything you can.
But
you basically
it's basically damage.
But in a really aggro and aggro matchup, it's more of a philosophy of the first time you hit face is when you have lethal. And until that, you just play board control and establish your stuff. That's what I learned in over 1,000 games of Odd Paladin. That's how it's always been with that, at least.
Like, it's different if the boards are relatively even, but like your thing is way bigger than your opponent's. And if it was the last mech on the board, I would totally agree with it, right? Because of the magnetized threat. But I think that
I have to agree with Rixxor on that play. It's probably how I would have done it.
And I think we're going to see another Rift Cleaver come down, I would imagine. Taking out the Microbot.
Nope.
Taking out the dude.
You could also play Lackey Value, but he goes Cleaver there.
Played on the wrong side.
Yep. That should have gone next to the dog.
It's such a habit to play all the minions on the right side, but yeah, there was a Dire Wolf there. Probably not going to change the outcome of the match.
Probably not.
But generally good practice, though.
Alright, what combination of mechs do you want here? If you're Max. Huh.
I would have probably liked something involving an oil, which would have been, of course...
We should have called this deck the Max Paladin.
Well, you know.
We didn't.
No, in our official documentation, the decks are always referred to by archetype names.
Yeah.
I removed all the puns from deck names. Or really any other custom naming schemes. Trying to keep the documentation as consistent as possible.
This is not the tournament of fun. This is the tournament for...
oh no, it's very much fun.
For big competition. We don't allow fun at TrashcanTV headquarters.
What do you want to evolve is the question.
Probably the Cleaver and the Genius.
But the Cleaver likely wants to trade, right?
I think so, yeah. And it doesn't survive.
Ooh, I think the Alarmobot is what you want to evolve.
Yeah, that's not a good minion to keep around.
Although, honestly,
better.
Getting the Flame Imp down
without the Battlecry.
Without the Battlecry is not even that bad.
It is something, right? Grim Rally, big pickup, and I doubt that Max is going to be able to deal with this now. And I think we're going. All the way.
Big taunt coming down, big-ish taunt.
Yeah.
So
absorbs, dealt with rather cleanly.
Absorbs 2 hits, yeah.
Both people running out of hand space, but there is just more value. And with the Vulture now, this should close the game up for Rixxor, I think.
This is the one situation where you play your minion before you tap. Eliminating the entire board, knowing the value of the buffs.
You could also just play your imp, but he can't tap. Wow.
I mean, yeah, as you said, he's running out of stuff for the hand.
And another imp. Yeah, and Maxer obviously knows that that's going to be the game. And Rixxor is just holding on. Impressive. Very, very impressive. So,
Khadgar versus...
Mac Paladin.
Versus yeah.
This is going to be an interesting matchup now. I'm not even sure, because this is a matchup that happens so rarely. I have no idea what's favored here. Do you go with the Paladin?
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, Khadgar is kind of a combo deck.
Yeah.
And general philosophy says aggro beats combo.
It's a high roll-ish thing. But if you get like Grave Horns down quickly, you also shut down.
That's the problem, right?
So
it's very swingy, I think.
Yeah, any combo deck in these days needs to have an element of control in it. You see it in the Sharmala Paladin with your Wild Pyromancers, your board clears, and your heals. And in this one, you already see a Mountain Giant on hand, which is not bad. You see a Doomsayer, which can help you stall out. That's a control tool.
Yes. Mountain Giant, of course, Khadgar on hand. Now you just need Conjurer's Calling, and you're basically good to go.
Maxah passes on one. I love how Maxah plays. Like, no one makes this play except for Maxah. But I really like what he does. And he'll probably he'll pass on this.
Hero power, very important.
Power. It used to be important when Corridor Creeper was there.
Yes. There is probably other cards where that would be important too, but of course, since the deck lists are known, it doesn't matter. I sometimes do small things on ladder when it's like, if I had this card, this would be a beneficial play, although it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't make a difference otherwise.
Throw curveballs, yeah, why not?
Because then you don't know, even though you might expect me not to have it.
And now here comes the Glowtron. Didn't even play it on one. He wanted to get that Doomsayer out the way, and I was got an extra 1/3 for it. I really like the way Maxah plays Hearthstone. I can't help but notice it again and again. Arcane Breath coming down.
Really good because it replaces itself for the hand space, and there's an Elemental Evocation.
Which is Mountain Giant's an Elemental. That's definitely worth considering.
Decides to go for the more control-oriented ice block there. Ice barrier, that is, of course.
Yeah. Mountain Giant not quite playable with the Elemental Evo. Still one too many. Otherwise, he probably would have done it. And now
also no Conjurer's Calling on hand quite yet.
Skyclaw there, and a dude, just a man, to help out with the efforts.
Just a regular old person.
Just a good old person.
What?
Carl and George. Scale right there.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Decides to pick off everything but the Skyclaw.
What's the Skyclaw if you don't have a mech on board?
That is true, and there is one Rush mech, but that's not the biggest concern right now.
I think we'll see War Gear though. No. Just Blessing of Kings is also fine. Not even... Oh, okay.
No.
On the Skyclaw is correct. I would agree with that.
Yeah, especially because, as we said, there is value in the Skyclaw, which is also one of the reasons why maybe you would have wanted to kill the Skyclaw. Yeah. You could have still pinged one of the 1/1s.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, yeah, Scale Rider on the Skyclaw, ping one of the 1/1s, and you have a 1/1 left without an effect rather than a 1/2 with an effect.
You don't love as Maxah there magnetizing stuff onto Skyclaws necessarily.
No, but again, so actually,
yes, I know what
keeping Skyclaw alive was technically wrong, even for stats.
Yeah, you want to kill the Skyclaw, of course. Now he picks up the Conjurer's Calling. Can't quite pull the combo out, but he's got it on hand.
Can play the Giant this turn if he wants to, setting it up for next turn.
Setting it up.
And just
this Giant's gonna die.
Removing some damage from the board.
This Giant has to die if you're Maxah.
Yeah.
Can't let this Giant live.
If that Giant were to live, then that is a huge swing.
Then he's gonna deny this game instantly because Khadgar plus Conjurer's Calling is gonna lock this up.
Yeah, so basically the thing is like, this one turn
he needs
might just determine the outcome of the match.
I think he needs to kill his Giant. He's thinking about it. Can I afford to hit face? He's doing the math. Put your buffs and hit face. You gamble. If you do it, you're gambling on the fact that it's not going to be a Grave Horror. It's going to go the safe route, Max. I agree with it. I think it's the correct way to do it.
And now, the Paladin still has a board.
Yeah.
And the Mage has nothing, basically.
Paladin has hand damage to end all hand damage.
So this might have just been the one turn that won him the game. Now I'm not gonna call someone a winner.
It was a good play. It was a critical play, and it was good. I think it was the correct choice. Could have gone Power of Creation. For Taunt decides to go Spell instead.
What is it? Side Quest, I think, and Magic Trick.
Magic Trick coming down. Oh, Flame Ward is potentially massive.
Yes, but the mana's in there.
No, it's not turn. Not there is turn. That's correct. It's gotta ping stuff off. We're expecting.
Pings off once again. The mech.
The mech. One of the mechs.
Yes.
And here comes damage.
We have a... Oh, spreads it around a bit.
Here comes the damage.
We have a 12 damage turn.
Maxah. This is gonna be critical now. We're getting into that phase. Are you forced into power of creation now? You have your flame ward. Notice, and this is important. After. That's an important.
Iron Barrier very big though.
Ice Barrier is big, yes.
Ice Barrier.
Iron Barrier just gives you 1,000,000 armor.
Spellbender also very big with the Blessing of Kings.
That is a good play against this very specific. And Rixxor knows this too. He studied the deck list. He knows there's Blessing of Kings, and he has an idea that it's in the deck, in hand. So he plays that Spellbender there. Very, very good stuff. That's really smart from Rixxor.
And that is why I like Spellbender.
That's really smart.
Because it Spellbends buffs too.
Once in 1,000,000 when you do it right. But he did it right here. He did it right. And
Alex doesn't like Spellbender.
It's a terrible card. But listen, if it works once in 1,000,000 times, that's what you take. If it gets you into the semifinals of your conference, that's all what it needs to do. You're doing it right. And Maxah is just
keeping all the buffs on hand.
Wow. Pure telepathy.
I mean, you could still play the Deny module.
You could, yeah.
But just seeing like, oh yeah, like, you're gonna remove one of my mechs, I'm gonna just put it on the other one. Now, of course, remove
we'll
both
take
of the
everything
mechs,
off
but...
this Rixxor. Just take everything out.
And that's where maybe you should have played the Deny module.
Not allowing any more fools. True Self were instantly played. That's a big draw.
Yes.
True Self was a big draw, and now it's just a race. It's just a race against time, really. Like, how much damage, how much time do you need if you're Rixxor to defend this attack right now? Scale Worm is not bad.
Yeah, and also
that's a rush. That's big.
I also kind of maybe like Khadgar and Power of Creation, but you'd have to discover the correct minion, of course.
You do. You have to find something to help you remove this board. Or the taunt, actually.
Yes, taunt was what I was saying. Like, you can take the 2 trades. It's awkward because it doesn't kill anything if you take the 2
Khadgar
trades.
power is tempting, but you have to find a taunt.
You could also, after hitting the Scorcher in whenever you do that,
okay, we have a disconnect here.
You could Contrast Calling on the Scorcher, that is.
Yeah.
Because it's understated, and maybe that's gonna give you something good.
Gotta find taunts, though. Is it worth it? Is it worth the risk? Rixxor's back. We had a little bit of disconnection there, and he's... Big moment. This is tough to play.
Yeah. Greetings.
Yeah. Maxah is cool as a cucumber. I don't know where that saying comes from. What are cucumbers particularly cool?
I mean, depends, I guess, right? Like, if they're like laying in the sun, then no. If they're like a fridge, then yeah.
Why not like cool as a popsicle or something? Maybe, or ice or something like that. He's playing this right after coming back from a disconnect, clearing this whole board up. Very, very important.
Now the question is, went for the biggest mana on the Contrast Calling, but I would have gone for whatever.
Leroy the draw.
Yes, here's the thing, right? You go for whatever has the highest odds of taunt. Yeah. Now I don't know the
Rixxor does.
The Contrast Calling.
Wow. Maxah, what a game. What a match. That was the best match I want to say in the tournament so far. Leroy off the top. I love how he played the whole thing. Outplayed the Spellbender there. He saw through the whole thing, knew I was up. Didn't play his Blessing, and got the Leroy, got the reward for it. Maxah with an amazing showing, and Rixxor ever so slightly fell short. But great performance from him, considering the circumstances, considering the bad connection he's playing with, that he's playing on a mobile device, and that he's playing with auto-completed decks. I mean, outperformed any expectation. Great job, Rixxor. So thank you very much for participating. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the tournament as a spectator. And Maxah, you are moving on. Very convincing showing to the semi-finals of your conference, which is promising to be very, very exciting. So we're looking forward to that. Everyone who's watching, please drop a like on this video to support these competitors. And if you want to meet them and meet us and talk trash talk, or Hearthstone, whatever you prefer, you can join our Discord server. Link to that in the description. Hopefully we'll see you there soon. And until the next one, JJ.
That's it.
That's it.